Raquel and welcome to From Mom to School. This is my very first video I'm ever making, so please bear with me. It's probably not the highest quality, but I'm just trying to get this out there. I've had this idea for a few months. I made this channel a long time ago and I just haven't had the guts to put out a video. So this is what I'm doing today. It's already my second time filming this video because my iPad ran out of memory 1 minute into me last filming it and I had no idea because I don't have a monitor. So I'm doing this for the second time. Hopefully I remember everything I want to say. But this is my very first video and thank you for coming and watching, and I hope that it interests you. Just some things to know. I live in an apartment right now. I will be moving very shortly, so my house is kind of all over the place. But also, you might hear some banging. My upstairs neighbors are actually moving. So yeah, so my kids are supposed to be down for a nap. Hopefully they're not playing and singing in their room. Well, my older one at least. So hopefully you don't hear little voices in the background. So this channel is for moms or caregivers, guardians of small children, directed towards ages 0 to 4. And the goal of it is pretty much in the title, but From Mom to School, it's getting your child school ready for when they enter kindergarten, public school, private school, or even when they're of age for beginning kindergarten homeschool, or maybe if even started earlier. But this is just like ways that you can help your child be school ready, things that you can teach them, things that you can do at home that are easy, that will engage them, that will prepare them. So a little bit about myself. Like I said, my name is Raquel. I actually have a bachelor's degree in early childhood development. Before I went for my bachelor's, I got an associate's degree in American Sign Language. While I was in college, all through that time, I subbed, I worked in education. And then when I graduated with my associates in American Sign Language, I worked in the school system from elementary school to high school age, and working with deaf students, being a deaf support specialist, and an instructional assistant, working with students of all ages and all different developmental levels. And it was a great experience. Then I went back to school for early childhood development because I wanted to work originally with deaf babies. I got hired after college, after I got my bachelor's, for early childhood intervention, and I was working with all kinds of different disabilities and developmental delays, and it was a great experience. While I did that, I was actually pregnant with my first son, and it was a great learning experience. I learned so much information. I loved it. I went from home to home, working with parents and children about developmental progress that their child was making or could make, and we did lots of developmental activities and practices, and it was a great experience. And taking in all that information, it was great for my own children and great information to share. And so I worked there until my son was born, and then I quit and I decided to stay home with my son, who is now 2 years old, about 2.5. He'll be 3 in November. And then I also just last July had a baby, and he's going to be 1 next week. So time goes by really fast, but I now have 2 boys, and it has been a lot of work, but it's been a lot of fun. And I just want to share as much as I can. I would love for people to consider my channel a resource more than anything else, because I have a little bit of work experience, education experience, and then my own personal experience. I would love to share just different things you can do to help your child, prepare them for when they go to school. That way they don't feel so overwhelmed. When they go to school, they understand kind of how learning works and how to sit for a lesson and different things you can do with them. And when they learn in school, they're going to say, oh, we do this at home already. Oh, my mom already taught me how to do that. Or whoever you have that relationship with that child, what can you do with them? So that's kind of what this channel is going to be, a resource. I'm not here to tell you how to parent or to judge your parenting. Everybody's parenting style is so different. This is more developmentally based, so Is my child old enough to do that? What can I do with a 2-year-old? Or I have an 11-month-old and a 2.5-year-old. But I will also give things that are more of the older ages developmentally, and then even babies, what you can do. So for example, right now with my children, my 2.5-year-old, we can do a lot more academic things as far as shapes and colors and numbers and sorting and matching and sight words, things like that. Whereas my 11-month-old, it's mostly motor, fine motor and gross motor. So we're working, I mean, he crawls now. He's still crawling. We do a lot of pulling to standing, working on his legs, strengthening them, his balance, fine motor skills, feeding himself, pincher grasp, things like that. We also work on like him paying attention to subtle changes. So if I hide something, does he notice where I hid it? Does he think it's gone forever? Those little things are just little developmental things. Things like clapping, right? Copying. Those are kind of the things you work on with a smaller baby. So those are kind of the range. And then there's so many more things you work on. So that's kind of what I will be helping with. There's a lot of little things that kids do that are developmental milestones that maybe you didn't notice. My child is reaching a developmental milestone, or maybe you didn't know, oh, I could work on this with my child. That's kind of the resource I want to be. So that's kind of what this channel is going to be about. From mom to school is all about getting your child school ready and all the different things that you can teach your child that maybe you didn't think, you know, they were old enough for, or you thought, oh, well, we wait till they go to kindergarten, then they learn their alphabet or their colors. But actually, a lot of that stuff they can learn a lot younger, and they can begin to practice it in their everyday life. So much of the basics, foundational education is all around us as you drive down the road, as you're in the store, walking around your house. It's all over. Shapes are everywhere, colors are everywhere, words are everywhere. You just have to constantly integrate it, and I'm going to kind of show you different ways you can do that. So that's kind of what my channel is going to be about. Please share it with people, other moms. People want to know how to help educate their children. Your child is smart. Make sure they know that they're smart. Always tell them how smart and intelligent they are and that they're good at learning. The thing is that some of us may have had bad educational experiences, and so then we just kind of feel like maybe our child will too. But if you prepare them now for when they go to school, they're gonna go in thinking that they're good at school and they're smart and they can do it, and they already have so much foundation going in. So you're just giving them that extra support that maybe you wish you had when you went to school, that you can give to your child. Make them feel like they're such smart kids, because they are. Kids are so smart. They just need to be tapped in. They just need to be engaged. And so at the end of, or every time I do a video, I don't know if it'll be at the end or in the middle, however, but I will be doing something called an EIL, which is not a catchy acronym at all, but what it stands for is an easy integrated lesson. And that means this is something that you can do with your child in your home. And integrated meaning something you would do anyway. It goes along with your daily schedule. It goes along with what you would already be doing, but now you're turning it into a lesson for your child. So the two that we're talking about today, that I will show you clips of me doing with my child, is sorting and matching. So for matching, I'm sure we all know the most common thing to match is socks. It is easy to teach your child matching with socks, especially if they have different colored socks, different patterned socks. If you have all white socks, it might be a little bit difficult, but hey, if they're all the same sock, then they just can match them easy. But my husband likes to wear lots of different patterned socks, so his socks are really good for this too. But basically, as you're doing laundry, set them out and let your child match them for you. They're learning chores, they're learning organization, and they're learning how to match, which is a skill that they will need in kindergarten and even further up into the higher grades. They will need to know like in different patterns. And so you're teaching them like in different colors, like in different patterns, even at this early age. And one thing I would say about this is make sure that every sock has a match before you give it to them. Maybe your child is really laid back and they won't even care if one of them doesn't have a match. My child will fixate on the one that doesn't have a match and get frustrated. And then they are unable to focus on anything else. So I like to pre-check, make sure the ones that I'm giving him have a match. As you can see, I laid him out. It doesn't have to be this structured. I just did that for filming purposes, but I lay him out and then he goes and finds the matches, gives them to me, we fold them up, we put them away. Today we had a lot of mismatched socks, so it was a great time for him to match with me. And this is easy and it's integrated. Even with filming and everything, it took like 3 or 4 minutes. So this is something you can do. You're teaching a lesson to your child and it's something you would have to do anyway, but now they're doing it. It's their chore. So that's one lesson you can choose. The second is sorting. So what I mean by sorting is putting like things together. My son likes to play with these puzzles in the morning while his brother is still sleeping. Before the baby wakes up, he does puzzles. What's so cool about these puzzles is on the back, they each have a shape that makes sure that you keep the pieces with the same puzzle and you don't mix everything. You can't remember which piece goes to which puzzle. So what I did is I created baggies that have different shapes on them to match the corresponding puzzle. And so when he is done, instead of just leaving the mess, he puts it the squares with the squares, the circles with the circles, the triangles with the triangles, the diamond with the diamond, and he is learning how to sort, and he's cleaning up his mess. It's integrated. I was going to have to clean it anyway, but now it's also a sorting activity. It's also a lesson, and it's easy, and it's easy for them to do every day. And these are 2 skills that you can teach that your child will need to know in school that is integrated in your daily life. You were going to have to clean anyway. Might as well let them help you. They want to help you and they're learning a good skill. You can do with sorting, you can do that by toys. Maybe you have bins of cars or blocks. Let them sort the cars and the blocks. That's a good tool. They'll learn like objects. Or even putting dishes away. Maybe you have cups or forks or spoons. You know, obviously you're observing, you're making sure they're being safe, but they're learning how to do a chore. It's easy. It's integrated in your daily life, and they now learn a skill that they will need for school. So that's the first thing. That's my first EIL, or easy integrated lesson that I'm teaching for today. I hope you come back. Please share this with as many people as you can. Like it, subscribe, click the bell, all the things that you're supposed to do on a YouTube channel. I hope to get better at all of this filming things, but just know that I'm just here as a resource helping other moms or caregivers. And have a good day.